Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to all of my videos and my podcasts. I hope that you guys enjoy the content and hopefully that you learn from them specifically. In this video, in this podcast, I wanted to speak to you guys about the fragility of human life and how I don't know what it is about walking around this world or just being in this world in general. I find that I feel a lot of sadness and a lot of overwhelming sympathy, I guess would be the right word for it, or empathy for this world in general. Whenever I walk past anyone, it doesn't really matter if I know them or not, actually more specifically for strangers, because for people that I know, I already know how I feel about them. I already know what kind of struggles they're going through. And so I feel empathy, but a specific kind of empathy towards the stuff that they're going through. But when I walk past a stranger, I have no idea what kind of struggles they're going through specifically. I have no idea what's going on in their life. I have no idea if they're doing well or if they're doing poorly or whatever it might be. But I do know that being a human being in this world right now, just being alive in this world right now in general, as a being, as a human or as any being, is a hard thing. There's a lot of stuff going on that's causing life to be hard in general, not only as a human being. Even if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, even if you're rich, even if you have everything that you could possibly want, it's still a life of suffering. You're still dealing with suffering. If you think of it in terms of Buddhism, right? You're still dealing with suffering, figuring out how things are going on, and then moving on from there to hopefully become an enlightened being, but just dealing with suffering in general. We have a lot of rejections that happen in our life, a lot of heartbreak that happens in our life, a lot of deaths, a lot of lives lost, a lot of suicides, a lot of negative and positive stuff as well that happens that we have to deal with as a human being. And so whenever I do walk past anyone, I always feel that overwhelming sense of empathy for that person. And I just feel so sad that, that I can't do anything to help this individual. I mean, a lot of the people walking past us, we're never going to see them again. We see them for a brief moment in time, and they're there for a few seconds, and then they're gone, right? And we'll never see them again probably. But in those few moments, whenever that person's walking past me, I'll always try as much as possible to send them this meditation that's called loving kindness, and to just kind of send them some positivity and send them some energy, and to send them some kind of hope for the future, even if they have hope already. It's just to kind of enhance their life a little bit. And that's the reason I wanted to do this video. It's not because the world might be going shit, or the fact that we have a hard life, or the fact that life is suffering, or that there's a lot of negative stuff going on in the world right now. It's that every single person on this planet has the capacity to change someone else's life just by the power of their thought. I'm sure you guys have heard of this experiment before, or this scenario where, I think this happened in Thailand actually. There were hundreds of thousands of children that got together to meditate, and to meditate on world peace. So they meditated and tried to bring more peace into the world. And the same thing kind of happened, I think, in New York as well. In the 80s or 90s, they did a mass group meditation, and they sent out positivity into the world and tried to bring more peace into the world. And they noticed, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but they noticed that during the time that they were meditating and the time after that they were meditating, the crime rates went down and death rates went down, and in general, the atmosphere of the world in general changed. Now, I don't know how true this all is, but I do know that even if we're not able to affect the world as a whole, if we're not able to make huge impact, we're not able to change the entirety of the world, we can change one person's life. We can change two people's lives. We can change a couple of people's lives. And so this is what I try to do on a daily basis. I'm not a martyr of any kind. I'm not the kind of person who's giving her life away to people, or trying to change the world in that specific way. But I do know that I have so much in my life, and I am so lucky, and I'm so grateful for everything that I have, everything that I am. And so I've kind of taken this on upon myself as a task that I do every single day. It's, I guess, my good deed for the day, if you want to call it. And all I do is very simple, is that if a stranger walks past me, if I've never seen them before, if I have seen them again, if it's my second time or third time seeing them, when I'm walking past them on the street, I'll always try to send some good energy that way. I'll always try to send them something positive. I'll always think of something positive that comes into their life. If I see something that they have or they don't have, I'll try to imagine that they have something better than that. For example, if I'm walking past someone and it's really cold outside, and this happens a lot in Toronto, I'm walking around and there's someone walking around with a really thin coat and really not a coat that's good enough for them to be protected from the cold. And I look at myself and I have a really warm coat and I'm lucky enough to be driving around in a car and they're taking the bus, and I think to myself, I'm so lucky, let me send some positive luck towards these people as well. And so I'll think about this person, and I hope and I wish that eventually they'll be able to get a nice coat, or they'll have the capacity to buy a car, or just that they're happy in general. Sometimes I'll just send just mere happiness or just some joy or some peace, something very simple. Now, you're probably thinking, it'd be better if you just kind of gave them a couple of dollars, or if you gave them some money, or if you donated to charity. That would be a better way of using your energy. I don't think so. The reason I say that is because, first of all, people don't like charity. You can't just walk up to a random person on the street, especially if they're not homeless, and say, oh, your coat looks really thin. Can I give you a couple of dollars for your coat? It doesn't work really. So you can't really do that. Secondly, I don't really trust a lot of these charitable organizations, because a lot of the money that you put into it doesn't actually go towards the person that you want the money to go to, right? So I have a little bit of an iffy time with that. But I do know energy, and I do know vibration, and I do know that thoughts create a reality, and they have a lot of power behind them. And so I don't have a hard time doing that every single day. Every single day I can send my energy out, I can send my thoughts out to these people, and I know that it'll make a difference, because it has made a difference in my life. My life has completely changed because of the fact that I've changed my thoughts and my patterns of thinking. And so I know that if I can do that for someone else on a daily basis, whoever it might be, I know that they will be able to change their mindset because of it. A quick example, it's not something that I'm boasting about or anything, but it's an example to show you or illustrate the fact that this actually does work. So recently, as I told you guys, I think you've probably heard me talk about this before in previous videos or previous podcasts, where my parents, my mom was a little sick, and so I left Thailand for a few months, and I went back home to be with my family because I felt like they needed strength, and I had the strength to give. I'm a strong person. I'm an INFJ, I guess. I'm strong enough to deal with what was going on, and I felt like it was time for me to kind of give back a little bit in that manner to my family. They've always been very supportive of me, so I decided, okay, let me give back to them. And so I spent some time with them, and what I did every single morning was that I did my practice. I did my meditation practice, but I always tacked on a loving kindness meditation in a form where I would send positive energy to the members of my family, specifically my parents, who really, really needed it, and my sister, who really needed it as well, and my brother sometimes. He's pretty strong right now, so he doesn't really need it. But I would send it out to my family members and to give them that strength so that they can get out of this valley that they're in, this abyss of sadness and depression, and pull themselves back out again into positivity, into health and happiness, right? I would do that every single day, and I wouldn't even think about it. It was just something that I wanted to do because I felt like it was the right thing to do. And I noticed a month into it, month and a half maybe, I noticed that the vibe in my family had completely transformed. My parents were much happier. Perhaps it was just the fact that I was there with them, but also I felt like it was also because they were happier themselves. They were going out and working out more. They're taking care of their bodies a little bit better. They were smiling a little bit more. I felt that there was a little bit more cohesiveness in my family, and a lot of random other things changed as well. And I know, obviously, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they were trying on their own end, but I know, or I believe, or I want to believe that some of it also had to do with the fact that I was sending out this positive energy to them. Now, it's such a simple thing to do and such an easy thing to do, right? I know that when I speak about this stuff, some of it seems really woo-woo and a lot really, really out there. You think to yourself, really? Is this actually going to work? You really don't know if it's actually working or not. I mean, I could just be making up stuff here right now. I could be making up all of this stuff. But the truth is that for me, in my head, it does work. And if it's a placebo effect, or if it's just my thought creating my reality, or if whatever it might be a hologram, it might be a holographic universe, it might be completely delusional. I might be completely delusional. But I do believe in energy, and I believe in vibration, and I really do believe that a meditation practice based on loving kindness and sending out positive energy to either the people in your life, your family or your friends or your acquaintances, or just strangers on the street, I think has a really positive and really everlasting effect on those people. An effect that you won't even notice, because that person's going to be gone. You're going to give them your energy and they're going to be gone. You're never going to see them again, especially if they're a stranger. But you've done your part. And whenever people ask me, what can I do in this world right now where there's so much overwhelming negativity going on, I always tell them to do this simple little thing. Do a loving kindness meditation. Do a loving meditation or gratitude meditation. Send out positive energy to the people around you or the people that you pass by on the street. And that's the simplest, easiest, but I think a very powerful thing that you can do on a daily basis in order to change the world around you. Because that's how it starts. Every change starts with you and with a couple of people around you. Because that's how we're going to change or impact the world. We're not going to make huge impacts changing the world, millions of people at a time, but one person at a time. I think that's a more powerful way of changing this world. Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope I was able to explain myself to you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.